Roll Tide, everybody, and welcome to the brand new Last Call Postgame show. I'm Mick Gillispie, and it's great to be with you here on the next round. It's a final from Missouri, and Bama holds on for what really was kind of a thrilling type of game. Maybe not their best effort, but a win over Missouri. And we got a lot to talk about on the show. So the phone lines are going to be open. I'm sure that some of you guys are like, hey, I know him, but from Cover Crimson, from the Bama Tailgate Show, and obviously from Last Call, where Jake Coker and I do a show on the Next Round platform. So great to talk to you guys. This is the new home of the postgame show, and I hope that some of you are familiar with what we do. But look, we're going to take calls. We're going to talk about the game. And I'm just trying to get a sigh of relief here. 5-1 for Bama, 18th straight year. Ty Simpson battled on the road against a pretty good Missouri team. I thought Bama would blow them out. I think they were on the verge of that, but some bad breaks in the game. And you wonder how Jam Miller is, moving forward, right? But the black hoodie strikes again for Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide. And it's not easy. It's just not. It's not easy like it used to be, where you can just go into these places and crush the competition. It's just not set up like that anymore. And it's a good win. And this team, all the questions that we had at the beginning of the year, we're starting to get answered now. I think Kalen DeBoer's done an excellent job of changing the direction that this program was going. Yeah, look, John, I think this is a good conversation. Damani Jackson, not having a good year. Not having a good year. You guys get in the comments section. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I think that Cam Calhoun or somebody else is going to have to take that spot. It's him watching him try to stop the run. It's been a bad year for him. Justin, thank you for being here. And Roll Tide, brother. Steven, what a game. Anytime we win, it's a great game for me. And I was worried about this game. I thought that this was a trap game. I know that Jake Coker on the Elephant in the Room Last Call show now, it's like, no, it's not a trap game. Can't be a trap game. It's not. It's just like if you look ahead to Tennessee or you think back to Vandy and then the week before that, Georgia, you're not going to win. But these guys didn't do that. I thought they played they played tough-nosed football. I thought they took a hit and got back up. I thought they made enough plays to win. I think it's hard to win in the SEC. I think that they're playing Missouri. You want to play them probably later in the season because they don't have depth, but they've played the 3rd easiest schedule or something. I mean, Bama's played the 3rd, and having played those games at Florida State, at Georgia, has definitely helped Alabama with their ability to go on the road and play. There's Iceman, Ice Baby. What's up? All right, well, let me get to the phones and talk to you guys, and welcome to my new show. At least the same show, but a new home. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Mick, this is Stan from the Ham.
Stan from the Ham. Let me know if you guys can hear Stan. I'm going to make sure that you got it. Stan, great to hear you, man, and Roll Tide, brother.
Roll Tide, Mick. I tell you what, well, of course, it all worked out, and we won, which is the main thing. But I'm really surprised on our last possession that Ryan Grubb didn't try to get a first down. I thought he had more sack than that, and he handed the damn ball off three times into the line. And as far as Missouri, they came into the game undefeated, but I think Missouri played over their head in this game for the most part, because just, everybody knows if you look at who they played, they haven't played anybody but a bunch of hardware stores and beer joints.
Places I'd like to hang out, Stan. hardware stores and
me
beer
too.
joints.
I'm familiar with them. But yeah, man, it all worked out. But yeah, come on, Grub, do a little bit of. I mean, you got to get a.
Stan, I think you still there, Stan? I think we lost you. You popped out of there. Look, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you guys this. I thought that that for Bama, yeah, I think we lost Stan. I think for Bama, this was a good win. You know, and I think this was the kind of win that you look back at and you go, you know what? We have to have these kind of games. And they're not always going to be easy. And then, you know, when you play this schedule now, all of these games are tough. I thought that the offensive line wasn't great today. Ty Simpson was back there running for his life too much for me, you know, and I can't stand that. I mean, I'm just sitting here waiting constantly for this O-line to get to the point where I feel like they're dominant, because I look at them and each week I'm like, hey, this is the week that we get this line going. And then every week it's like, okay, well, you know, maybe not, you know?
Manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
I hear we're back. That's the sound of the call-in line. So sorry about that, Stan. So I guess we got knocked off. Let me bring on Lance Taylor. You guys know LT. Where are you at, LT? I see you, but there you are. You there? LT. Yeah, I think if I lose you guys for a second, when somehow I got bounced off the internet here. All right, there you are. Are you there? Can you hear me? No, you can't hear me.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
I can't hear anything.
Not sure why. Well, try to call back in. See if that'll do it. Anyway, look, as I roll with you guys here, there we go. I'm going to go back to the phone lines again and see if we can get this thing cranked up, and then we'll get LT on. And I'm not sure why he couldn't hear me. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, Mick, it's Iceman.
Ice baby, man. Roll Tide, brother. How you doing?
Roll Tide, man. I'm doing all right. I'm a little stressed out about the way the offense kind of performed today. I mean, I think they did enough to win the game, but they also did enough that they could have lost the game. But I still can't get over this. I'm looking at the stat right now where Parker Brailsford has a catch for 2 yards, according to was it ESPN on Google and all that. Our center is catching the ball now. Do we have the best wide receiver room in the country? Because even our center is catching the ball. Like, I mean, and we went from the crispy screen to, we got to find a name for that first down conversion that he got last week, and now we got to figure something out for this one. But my God, he is a weapon for us. Hayden Proctor, to him, you know. I mean, you probably won't hear anyone say that he should be a Heisman or anything like that, because, you know, it's become more of a quarterback award anyways. But I mean, man, there are times where he actually is the best player on the field. I mean, I'm not saying all the time, but he's doing it all. And we have been so critical of him the past few years. And now look at us. We're cheering him on, and I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, this
Roll
is a guy,
Tide, big roll.
Yeah, big Roll Tide. This is a guy that transferred, remember? And left Alabama. And it was like, you know, he was going to go to back home, and then, you know, something happened and he decided to stick here.
They kept talking about
Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, look, I was saying, Ice was like, look, this guy transferred back to Iowa. Like crazy to think that the way that his kind of career has turned into this. Like, I got to give him a nickname. I'm thinking about calling him the Big Rig, 40 ounces.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't even know.
I like the Big Rig.
I mean, it's like they bring him in and it's like he got face masked and they didn't even call it. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that, and I kind of felt like they should have called that hit on Jam Miller targeting. I don't even think they even considered it.
I know. I'm worried about that one.
I hope it's just Jam's going to be fine. I mean, I'm imagining it's just probably a head injury or something. I'm not. Obviously, none of us know right now, but yeah, I mean, it looked like it was a pretty nasty hit that should have been called for targeting. I mean, they got one right earlier. Oh man, I felt like all of our hearts broke for Derek Meadows on that one too, because he was about to get a pretty big catch and everything, and it was just taken away from him. He was taken out of the game. He's going to be good. I can't wait to see Derek Meadows get more time playing.
Yeah.
Man, it was a stressful game, Mick, and I think I'm going to try and speak for all of us here. It was a stressful game. There's things that we can point fingers at and say that was bad, but man, this was a pretty solid and tough performance by our Alabama Crimson Tide, and I just got to say, a big roll tide to them. Proud of them. And I'll catch you next week. All right, Mick?
Thank you, brother. The Iceman, one of our great callers. All right, let me try to bring LT back on. LT, can you hear me? LT. Guess not. Trying to. Can you hear me? He's got something going on with his setup over there. And I don't know what it is. All right, let me go back to the phone lines again, though, and talk to you guys. Get you on the phone. Bama with a win today, a tough win at Missouri. Who's this and where you come from?
Mick, this is Stan from L.A.
Stan from L.A., man. I love all the Stans calling in today. You guys are fired up, aren't you?
Dude, I got Hayden for Proctor. We'll call him a proctorologist because he's going stood up their butt because it just keep giving the ball to him and let him roll. So, thoughts on the game, sloppy again, but this was a grit game. I mean, I knew going into this one, this was going to be a defibrillator game as well. I'm on my fourth cigar right now, so if that gives you an idea how stressful I am.
It'll drive you to drinking.
But we did. Oh my God, we did what it took. Closing out the game again, we just, I guess props to Mizzou. They, it's a gotcha game, and we were able to get through it. I think we still left a whole bunch on the field. And I think when Jam went down, that really hurt us. I think the psyche of the team kind of changed a little bit with that too.
Right.
That Ty Simpson and Jam Miller, Jam is Ty's comfy blanket, man. He's picking up blitzes. He's doing stuff there. But good Lord, the defense dang near gave it away, But again, I'll take it. We probably need to go back and look at this one again because, second watch, you can key on more different things. I'm just glad we won. I mean, I live in Overland Park, Kansas too, and that's the big Mizzou area up there, and they don't have anything up there except for Mizzou. They love that university. And you can tell by the way that they had some grit there. So I was praying to God they didn't get that Mizzou miracle, and well, the good Lord answered my prayer. So I'll take this one. It's a W. It was ugly. Yeah. I think we could have really taken control of the game when the defense stopped them a couple times, and the offense just, they just didn't. They didn't play Georgia. They didn't play like they did at Vandy, but they got enough to get it done. And again, this game probably shouldn't be this close if they would have really hammered down on some things and executed a little bit better. We're not talking a 3-point win. We're talking we're talking at least a 10-point win. So it is what it is. I'll take it. It's a W, man. Love you, Mick. Roll Tide.
Hey,
brother.
Roll Tide, Stan. Thank you, bro. Thank you for calling in and joining the new show. I wasn't sure if you guys were going to be here or not, but I see that you are. I'm going to try one more time with LT. LT, can you hear me? No. Hey, can you hear me? Give me your take on the game. I have a little technology issue. All right, look, before I go back to the phone lines again, and there's some lines that are open, by the way. Jam Miller is injured again. This is a big deal. I know a lot of you guys are in the comments right now worried about him. You should be. Hopefully it's not his collarbone. You know, hopefully it's, you know, it's not a bad concussion. I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it's one of the two. And what I'm thinking is, if it's his collarbone, you know, because he was out with that injury, it's going to be a while before he's going to be better again. I played football with a guy that had a collarbone issue, and he kept re-breaking it, you know. So to me, it was like constantly, I was like worried about it every time he was a tight end. And every time, you know, he'd make a play, he was a really good player, but then that collarbone would pop out. And it was kind of constant on that, you know. So hopefully that's not the case with Jam. You know, we'll find out. All right, let's go back to the phone lines again and talk to you guys. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Mick. Thanks for taking my call. This is Heath from Huntsville.
What's up, Heath? Man, long time no talk, brother.
I know it, man. I've been trying to get in, but the lines have been busy.
Well,
so,
maybe at this new spot, you know, until everybody finds out that we're here, right? But Heath guys came and saw us at the Floribama last year.
Yeah, plan on doing it again this year.
Hey, come on down, brother, and all you guys are invited.
Bowl.
Yeah, come on. Please come down and see us. Coker loves that. He
we'll
works the room, doesn't he?
I'll be there.
Doesn't he work the room? He's like a politician.
Hey, now I just wanted to say, Roll Tide, but also, I'm still not sold on this swarm defense thing. And in that being the case, I think there's one defensive player that they need to reevaluate, and that's Jackson, that's number one.
Yeah, Damani Jackson. He's had some bad games, hadn't he?
Man, like Ole-ing, you know, rushing, you know, rushers, and then just flopping on pass coverage. And I don't know. I mean, maybe something's in his head, but, you know, maybe they get Dre Kirkpatrick to replace him and or something. I don't know what the answer is, but the swarm defense has kind of got me out of sorts. I think Jeremy Pruitt needs to come and be our defensive coordinator, and I'll keep saying that. I truly believe it. I'm probably in the minority as far as that goes, but I think we could do better with the talent that we have. And the other thing is I think the 11 o'clock kickoff is just our kryptonite.
I hate that 11 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the players probably hate it. I know Jake Coker said that he hates it. I watched all your shows and stuff, and
thank you.
Listen to you and Jake and Shank and all that. But
Shank, I'm gonna tell you, Shank was.
Call in. I just wanted to call and let you know I'm still listening.
Well, thanks, brother. Shank was texting me early this morning. He was fired up for this. I think he's energized by Hayden Proctor, because Shank swears that if Coker would have thrown the ball, he'd score some touchdowns.
Hey, he should have scored today. We did find out that Hayden Proctor's vertical leap is like 2 inches.
Yeah, don't do that.
When he tried to jump over there.
Just do the ground attack.
Just plow through, man. He could have been in the end zone. I love it, man. I think it's great. Every time that he gets the ball, man, it's just amazing. But yeah, I've enjoyed watching this year and listening to your shows, and keep doing what you're doing. And I'll see you at the Floribama if I don't get to call in. But just letting you know that we're still supporting you.
Hey, thank you, brother. Roll Tide, Heath. That's my buddy Heath up there in Huntsville. I'm going to get to your calls here in a second. Kalen DeBoer confirms it was a concussion for Miller. I hate that, but at the same time, a little bit of relief that we know he'll be able to bounce back from that, hopefully, sometime soon. I mean, it was going to be bad either way, but just whatever's best for Jam, right? I mean, the guy's been so good for Alabama since he's jumped on on the line this year and been the Bama's running back. I mean, he's been one of the best players on the team, and he plays the game the right way. He's tough. He runs. Really like him, and I'm glad that he's okay. And it's a concussion, and hopefully it's not a serious concussion. It was a hard hitting game. All right, who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, Mick, this is Clint.
Hey, what's up, Clint?
Hey, man, how's it going? Nail biter.
Yeah,
I thought it would be.
I thought we would blow them out.
Blowouts, man.
I thought we were going to blow them out. I really did. I thought we were going to tear them up, and I think we were better than them, but just made too many mistakes. The turnovers were killing us.
Yeah, I didn't feel like we had a good offensive, I don't know, game. Not necessarily the game plan. We just didn't execute on offense like we should have.
Yeah. Well, what do you do about it?
Oh, well, I don't know. It's, a lot of it's Missouri. They played a good game. They're a good team.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Taylor wants to say hi. Say hi, Taylor.
What's up, Taylor?
Hey.
Roll Tide. What'd you think? What'd you think about the game?
Roll Tide. Oh, God. I need a drink.
You...
5.
It'll drive you to early drinking when you watch a game like that.
Yes, for sure.
Well, Mick, we just wanted to call in, and we're supporting your show. We love your show, and we'll let you go. We're going to head out to the beach.
We'll have a good time. Well, enjoy
after that nail biter.
Enjoy it. Enjoy the beach down at the Floribama. Hopefully, have a bushwhacker, and we'll be there with Jake and I'll be there with the tailgate show for the Iron Bowl, and we'll be at Coastal down there for the South Carolina show. So you guys enjoy it for us.
All right.
All right. Roll Tide. See you guys.
You later, buddy.
Thank you. All right. Look, going back to the phone lines, let me just go through a couple of things with you guys real quick. First off, please make sure that you like, and if you're not a subscriber to the next round, do that. This is where the post-game show is going to be now. And, we'll have some guests on, and we'll work out the kinks, and we'll hang out with you guys and take your calls. We do that after every game. Bama won 27-24. It looked like Missouri was just going to run them off the field. First drive of the game, they went straight down and scored. Bama answered. Missouri seemed to be a little bit too hyped up, had a really stupid personal foul penalty on that first drive. Derek Meadows took an awful shot. It looked like he was pushed, and then the defender behind him pushed him, and then head first, targeting. I mean, textbook targeting knocked him out of the game. I was glad to see him be able to walk off under his own power. It seemed like Missouri was playing a little bit like Auburn, some of that stuff you're looking at going, man, these guys, I don't want to say it was dirty, but, it kind of felt like that a little bit. Alabama responded. It wasn't Ty Simpson's best game, 23 of 31, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So that's a big deal. He did fumble the ball one time. Jam Miller, when he was in the game, 20 carries, 85 yards. That's when Bama's offense was at its best. It was good to see Daniel Hill finally get into the games and play some meaningful snaps, but he, 6 for 16. You had Kevin Riley in there. Riley doing it with his hands. He caught a touchdown, 3 catches, 15 yards, only got 16 yards on 6 carries on the ground. Ty Simpson ran the ball some, and then the big rig, Hayden Proctor, came in and got a handoff. They face masked him. They didn't call it, but I don't think it would have prevented him from scoring a touchdown. It was still awesome to see the creativity of the offense there. We heard so much about Ahmad Hardy coming into the game. He had 12 carries for 52 yards. So you got to give Bama's defense credit. This was the number 1 running back in the country. We weren't going to be able to stop him. Their running attack was going to destroy our run defense. They were going to expose us. I don't know how Vegas hit this one right on the money because they had it about a 2.5-point spread, and Bama won by 3. So they covered by a half a point, at least, according to ESPN. But Bama gave up 163 yards rushing on 28 carries. They ran the ball 43 times and had 126 yards total in the game. Big surprise to me was that we didn't see Ryan Williams a whole lot. Now, I know he was on the injury report. Weren't sure if he was going to play or not. He might have just been out there as a decoy. And that happens sometimes. So maybe that's how he helped his team in this game, as a decoy. But he didn't do anything. They didn't really throw him the ball, and he didn't catch it. And I almost feel like there was an issue there, and I don't know what it was, right? Let's see here. When you look at the offensive line, I thought the offensive line wasn't great in the game. I thought they could have done more. They could have blocked better. They could have, I think that they could have done a better job of pass blocking. They missed some blocks. They got Ty Simpson sacked a bunch, pressured a lot. Wasn't their best game. And they need to, continue to improve. And then Hayden Proctor, I'm calling him the big rig. I love it every time he comes into the game. This week, they direct snapped to him on a short yardage position. He got the ball. Then Ty Simpson tripped over his own guy on a handoff, and instead of a touchdown, they end up having to what did we do here? They took the touchdown off. He fell down, and as he was handing it off, and I think we ended up kicking a field goal, right? So, and that's why the game was close. Bama turned the ball over. They had opportunities to get the ball on turnovers, and they weren't able to pick them up. And this game was, to me, a lot closer than it really should have been. But you take it at 27-24, the final. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Also, guys, in the comments section, thank you so much for being here. Keith's talking about Ty Simpson. He'll get killed before it's over. Look, if they block like that, he's going to get hurt. If they let him get hit like he did today, he's not going to make it through the season. The Juice Squad, I give them a C- today. Not good enough. But even with that, Bama still found a way to win the game. So you got to remember that at the end of the day, all you're trying to do is win. And then get ready for Tennessee at home. Is Jam Miller going to play? I don't know. But you worry about that next week. This type of win for Kalen DeBoer is the type of win he needed. And I'm telling you that because last year he had no consistency. Towards the end of the season, when it looked like Bama was ready to take off, they go to Oklahoma and they shit the bed. Sorry, they did. And then after that, they just played like they didn't care. Florida State, it looked like that. I was critical. That performance, it didn't matter about the win or the loss. But the performance, it just wasn't good enough for what the expectations are here, long before Coach Saban. There's been high expectations at Alabama before Bear Bryant, and those didn't reach those expectations. And instead of this team folding, they've gotten better in a lot of ways each week. And I thought that this was a game where, in a tough environment against a team that, there's nothing that gets you excited about playing Missouri. If you took Missouri and kicked them out of the SEC, I don't think anybody would even notice. It'd be like when somebody transfers schools and you're like, hey, aren't you in my third period class? No, I left 2 years ago. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even know. Missouri is so just inconsequential to the SEC that, to me, it doesn't even matter. So that's their brand. But you still have to play them, and they're still a good team. They just should be playing Nebraska and some of those teams out west. Kansas State, they don't belong in the conference. Sorry. My opinion. All right, let's go back to the phone lines again. Just wanted to throw that out there for you guys, and now see what you guys think. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Jeff from Athens here.
Jeff from Athens. What's up, man?
Nick, Jeff from Athens here.
How you doing?
Hey, doing great. Hey, Doing good. Hey, I appreciate the phone-in show every week. I enjoy listening to you and all the callers each week. You made some great points there. You know, my wife's from the Midwest, and I understand her hatred being a Kansas grad with Missouri, and I understand it more now, just watching them, just the way they play and the way they, you know, the way they whine. They don't belong in the conference. They are a respectable team, and they played that way today. I thought it would be a dogfight going out there for 11 o'clock game, but, you know, to get a big road win at 11 o'clock, the SEC's playing almost like the NFL right now. We're not going to get the big blowout. And, I mean, the game lived up to its hype today.
Jeff, you're right. You're right on everything you're saying. I thought I don't want to say dirty, but it just felt like one of those old Iron Bowl games, you know, where you're like, man, there's a lot of, you know, personal fouls, and, you know, it came in a little bit hard on that one. I thought Missouri played hard, but I don't know. I wish they never were on Alabama's schedule, because I just don't care about them, you know? I mean, I'm sorry I said that, but I don't.
I agree. I mean, Columbia's just a sleepy town. I mean, even when we pass through there, you know, going to my father-in-law's every year, I mean, it's just a sleepy town, and it lives up to it just watching it on TV. But going back to the offensive line play, Formby is such a liability. You know, we didn't get any protection on the right side unless we lined up a tight end right beside him. Just watching his step, when he steps back, it's so narrow, and he's almost a half a second. I don't know if it's a delay or just recognizing it. It's, you know, especially if we don't have Jam Miller back there, you know, help with pass blocking. I mean, it's such a liability. We saw the difference in it when he went out of the game today.
Yeah, we did. They got too much competition going on for those offensive line spots to have guys that are out there just whiffing on, you know, blocks. And it's pretty frustrating, because I feel like, Jeff, like the consistency at that spot, the offensive line has gotten better until today. And then all of a sudden, here we are, step back again. And somebody wrote on here, Ty Simpson's going to get killed if they don't, but, you know, he will. You know, he will get killed. I thought they got him on that first play of the second half. And I'm glad that he got up. You know, Ryan Grubb's, I really like him, but you got to run the ball more. You just have to, even if you only get 2 yards, because they knew we were going to throw it. It seems like every time we threw it.
Oh, I agree. And, you know, we abandoned the run game, especially there at the end of the first half. I mean, you know, we were moving the ball with Jam, and then we decided we're going to throw the ball, you know, 3 times, and we're gaining 5-6 yards. You just got to keep rolling with it, you know, especially when you're trying to work the clock and, you know, try to go in with a touchdown knowing you're going to get the ball in the second half. But going back to Ryan Williams and just watching him running the route, something's off. I mean, he wasn't running the routes at full speed, and I don't know if it's an injury issue or if it's more of just, you know, the effort issue, you know. But I really appreciate the coaching staff holding him accountable, and also, you know, going back with the play calling there when we had those, you know, the fourth downs and DeBoer and Grubb not even hesitating. You know, that was the difference in the game. We could have went out and kicked a 45, 46-yard field goal there, and, you know, it's a toss-up. And I really appreciate the coaching staff just putting the foot on the pedal and trying to finish the game out the way they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, look, I'm glad that this team's becoming more disciplined. And I got a lot of respect for that, because as you know, I was, like a lot of you guys that are out there, not happy after the Florida State game. How about them not falling for the fake field goal? That's difference in the game. They get that. Think if they get that, and all of a sudden they got all this momentum and they got the ball, and we were there for it. You know, I mean, we weren't getting a bunch of penalties in this game again, and we turned it over. Ty got sacked and turned it over, but I mean, he didn't throw any interceptions. You know, I feel like that in that aspect, we're getting a lot better. Just the discipline area. I'm going to check their penalties. 5 penalties, 30 yards. They had 4 for 45 yards. I'll take that on the road at 11 a.m. against some team that, nobody's excited about playing.
Definitely. I mean, that, we do look more disciplined than week 1. And, I mean, we continuously to get better. I mean, to play your third-ranked opponent and you're on the road, we're going to face our 4th one at home next week. If we can come, I mean, I want to beat the hell out of Tennessee next week, smoke those cigars, at 9 o'clock and, celebrate all through the night. But, if we come out of this 3-1, I'm okay with it, but I want to finish out 4-0. But Mick, thanks for the post-game show. I appreciate all that you do to support Alabama football.
Hey, roll tide, Jeff. Love Athens. Went to college with a bunch of guys from Athens, bunch of K's from Alabama up there. And you guys do it the right way. Always got a good high school team, too. My old buddy and partner, Clint Lamb's from Athens. So love me some Athens and some North Alabama. You guys, there's phone lines are open right now. I'm going to go right back to the phone lines, 205-857-4440. Great call from Jeff. Thank you for being here on this debut show. Brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Just got back from Vegas, hanging out with some of the gang from Pearl River. And all I figured out while I was there is that I like the Timeout Sports Lounge better than Cosmo. I like it better than where did I stay? At the Encore. I like it better than the Wynn. And because you go in there, you got 20 big screen TVs. You got an easy access to the windows. You don't feel like you're being nickeled and dimed. You don't have to buy food to sit down and watch a game or put a bet in. Vegas is kind of going downhill because they're just making it to where they're trying to just suck every dollar out of you. It doesn't feel like that at Pearl River. You go into that Timeout Sports Lounge, full-size bar, everything you need right there, an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. And we appreciate them for being a part of what we do here on now the next round and this last call post-game show. So, and Jake Coker and I, a new episode of Last Call. We did it yesterday. We'll do 2 a week, and we all appreciate hanging out and being part of the next round. We have nothing but love and admiration for the guys, right? Lance Taylor and Ryan Brown and Jim Dunaway. And we tried to get LT on here and then had some issues with the connection. So, but we'll have them on this post-game show, each week and see what they think. And we appreciate you guys for being here as well. All right, let's go back to the phone lines again and talk to you. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Keith from New York.
Keith from New York. What's up?
All right, I got a question for you. You got a 35-yarder to win the game. Are you taking Cade Foster or Connor Talty?
Yeah, I know. Kicking game's got some issues, doesn't it?
It's got a lot of issues. I mean, you see those first 2 extra points? Looks like knuckleballs. I mean, it's a matter of time before this comes back to bite us.
This, I don't disagree. I mean, he's pretty good with it inside the 40. Outside of the 40, I mean, he might kick one that'll end up at your house in New York. he may shank one to Queens.
4th and 8. Yeah, I mean, 4th and 8. We didn't even think about kicking.
No.
I mean, it's just not even a fact. It's you got to get to the 30-yard line before we even think about kicking. Not even the 35.
I know.
20-yard line.
Yep. Yeah.
Even then, I'm holding my breath.
Yep. This was an area you had Graham Nicholson last year, right? And we didn't really utilize him a lot because Jalen Milroe, his ability to score inside the 20 was amazing. That was never his issue. That was his strength. So then the year before that, we had Will Reichard, who's in the NFL, and he could be one of those guys that's in the NFL for a long time. Now we have a guy that, we may be hearing a story about somebody taking a shit in his shoe if he doesn't if he doesn't start figuring it out. I mean, this feels like he's not quite that bad, but it does feel like Bama's going to be very limited on what they can do because they can't count on him to be consistent kicking field goals. Is that fair? Am I fair for saying that?
Yeah, you are. But the only reason he's not that bad is because we're not giving him opportunities to be that bad. You see what I'm saying? We let him kick one of those field goals.
Yeah. But would you
That's all I got to say. I got to jump out of here quick.
All right, Keith. Good call, man.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey,
I'm still here. What was that?
Last question for you is, I mean, would you feel comfortable putting this guy in a spot where if he misses the field goal, you're giving them great field position, and, instead of going up 6 and then kicking off? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you just can't, right?
I called into here to complain about our kicker. You know how I feel about putting him in that spot. All right, I'm out, Mick.
All right, roll tide, brother. Take care, man.
New York.
Thanks for calling from up there in New York. We got people from all over the country hanging out with us. You guys are also worried about Damani Jackson, and I'm seeing that in the message board here constantly about Damani Jackson. I am too, and that's not just that he gave up some pass, some pass plays. I'm not real excited about him stopping the run. It just doesn't look like he really, some plays, wants to get in there and make a tackle. And that's an issue to me. And I think that's something that all of you guys are seeing as well, right? So, how's that? How are they going to improve theirs? Is Cam Calhoun going to end up jumping up and taking that spot, taking snaps away? Is Damani going to be able to improve and get better? That's an area where Alabama has some issues. But, I look at it and I feel like overall, if I was scoring this defense, and I would give the defense a pretty good grade today. They got put in a bad position to start the second half. They made adjustments. They, there's definitely some issues. They're dealing with a bunch of injuries, but they get after it. Justin Jefferson is emerging as a star player, and I love that. Looking at the stats, they gave up 330 total yards, only 167 passing. They really limited Missouri's passing, and they only gave up 163 yards on the ground. And I thought that would be an area where they were going to, run into a lot of trouble as well, but they didn't. So, good, definitely some good stuff there. Deontay Lawson had a really good game, 7 tackles, 5 solos. How about Nakai Hill-Green? I thought he played a really good game. There was one play where there was an open run, and it looked like Hardy was about to bust it. And all of a sudden, here comes Hill-Green, and he just cuts him down, right? 7 tackles, 3 solos. Justin Jefferson, 6 tackles total, 4 solos. LT Overton, the star player that we thought he was, he had a sack and a half today. Keon Keeley was in the game. He had a couple of tackles and a half a sack. That's a guy that a lot of us have been waiting to see if he was going to step up and be something, right? Keon Keeley, 5-star guy coming in. Like, it's taken a while, but out of necessity, if nothing else, you got to have him out there. And when you're dealing with the amount of injuries that Alabama's dealing with right now on defense, to go into this environment and make the plays. And I mean, at the end of the day, it just get one more point than them. I thought Alabama was a much better team. And if I didn't think that, I'd say it. I just thought they were by far the better team. I thought Missouri got lucky on some fumbles that they ended up. One was out of bounds when they almost gave it away. One of them bounced luckily into the one of the offensive linemen, I think. You give up those turnovers, it's a blowout. I thought Bama needed to run the ball a little bit more and try to keep that defense off of Ty Simpson. And then Jam Miller going out, put the defense in a spot where they were going to have to make plays, and they did. I thought Kalen DeBoer did a good job. The black hoodie. I'm a believer. I'm a believer in the black hoodie. I would much rather Kalen DeBoer wear a black polo. I think just personally. But you know what? Or maybe I'm looking at Bear Bryant over there, maybe a black sports coat. But hey, he's got to do things the way that he wants to do them. The thing you can say about Kalen DeBoer is that every time he's needed to do something at Alabama as the head coach, he's doing it. Recruiting, he's done a nice job there. He goes out, he does the media. The players like him. He doesn't have a bunch of guys transferring. Every school does, but he's done a good job there. He's responded after Bama had a terrible start to the season to kind of turn things around and get him going back in the right direction again. So I like that. This one was going to be a tough game. It just was. And there's just so many reasons. And I'm going to lay them out for you again. Georgia, enormous game on the road in Athens. At that point, everybody's like, hey, what Alabama are we going to see? I said this. We're going to see the Florida State Alabama, or are we going to see, the Alabama that I thought played about a perfect game against Louisiana Monroe, except I wish they would have ran that up to 100 for that billboard that they threw out on us back when they beat us on the way to Shreveport for the bowl game. Yeah, But anyway, 73 was good. 73 zip. We got, a really good disciplined team, and Bama got a huge win against the team that hadn't lost in 33 home games. Then they came back, and they're playing Vanderbilt. And Diego Pavia was talking a boatload of shit. He just was. Okay, we're gonna blow these guys out. We're playing Vanderbilt football. We beat them last year. You're going, hey, are we going to be able to stop the run? We couldn't do it last year. We couldn't stop the run last year. Guess what? You shut him up. They shut him up. It was a tough game. They shut him up. They turned him over a couple times. They won the game, jog off the field. Now you got to go play the number 16 of 16 teams in your conference that has nobody cares about them. They don't have a fan base. They don't have a tradition. It's amazing that they're even in this conference. And if they had it to do over again, I'd rather you took Nebraska. Why not put them in the SEC? At least you'd have, how about think about that matchup? And then you could have Nebraska, Oklahoma. You could have Nebraska, Texas. No one's fired up about Missouri. I'm sorry. You got to play there. At 11 a.m. And then, talking to Coker on the last call the other day, it's like, hey, yeah, you're up at 6:30 in the morning, and then, you're having breakfast. You don't get to go to a movie Friday night. Your sleep's all messed up. What'd Missouri do? Missouri had a week off to prepare. They had, they played a schedule where they didn't really have to play anybody. They had a schedule. Bama was the third toughest schedule. Theirs was 100th, 103, I think. And Bama has struggled against the run. They had the best running back in the country. Everybody there is fired up. You show up when you're wearing that Alabama uniform. Everybody wants a piece of you. And we got Tennessee next week. And guess what? You win that game, and I got a humidor right there. You get to smoke cigars. You lose that game, and everybody's pissed. DeBoer loses to Tennessee next week, and guess what? People will care. I mean, no one's going to be happy. Then you lose your star running back in the game, and you still find a way to win. So, you got to give them a ton of credit. And then guess what? Now we turn the page, and we start focusing on the Vols. And I know a lot of you guys are excited about that. I find the Tennessee rivalry to be maybe the best rivalry in college sports. Love it. Love it. Well, yeah, Justin, look, I know Nebraska is a bottom feeder just like Missouri, but people in Nebraska love the Huskers. I mean, if we went to the national championship game in San Francisco, played at Levi Stadium, nobody knew there was a game going. It was like, hey, we're here for the game. Are the Niners playing? No. The other game, like Raiders? No, man. That's how Missouri is. They're not worried about college football. They don't get it. You go to Nebraska, let me tell you something. They may be a bottom feeder, but they're fun. They got a huge fan base. Stan says the refs were terrible in this game. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a theme every week now. So I mean, that's like beating a dead horse. But I think this is a tough win. And we'll see how good Missouri is. Is Missouri going to be one of these one of these teams that you look back at and they were ranked 14th, but then they're really not that good? Are they going to be able to withstand Auburn next week? How many of you guys are going to be cheering for them compared to Auburn next week? That's an interesting question. But it's one of those deals where you have to play this game. It's on your schedule. Hey, by the way, they're a pretty good team on the road. All these other things are going against you. And you go in there and you take care of business. Yeah. You go in there and you take care of business. And that's all there is to it. So anyway, all right, let me get these. First off, welcome aboard and Roll Tide, becoming a member. If you're not, please make sure that you guys like and subscribe and join the next round. And you guys know the next round, best show in our state. And there's not a better show out there. I watch those guys a lot, and it really is a thrill to be a part of the show. And thank you for the super chat, Michael. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the super chat. And look, I know we switched spots for the post-game show. Some of you guys came here. If you're watching, you did. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And we're going to try to grow this one as well. We'll try to have some fun with it. We'll get the guys to jump on each week and give their perspective on the game. We had Lance. We just couldn't. Something was going on. We just couldn't get him to, kind of get things to go for a reason. I don't know what the deal was, but we had some issue with his connection. He couldn't hear us. Anyway, look, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Not done yet, but let me go ahead and show you guys their new spokesman. This guy was a national champion at Alabama.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
All right, let's roll. Let's keep going here on the show. I don't want to jump off early. I know a lot of you guys are watching games around the league, so we're not going to be on here too long, but let's just kind of go through the box score a little bit. Ty Simpson, 23 of 31, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. This wasn't his best game, but I'm going to tell you, his ability to thread the needle on some of those passes was brilliant. Absolutely loved Ty Simpson's, just the ability to do that. He needed a little bit more time in the pocket. Ryan Williams, I don't know if he was a decoy or not in this game. It certainly felt like that. Not many games that he's played where he hasn't seen targets and caught any passes. Derek Meadows got knocked out. Same with Jam Miller. We'll know more about those guys. Kalen DeBoer said that it was a concussion with Jam Miller. So I guess good and bad, right? You don't want it to be a, collarbone, but you don't want it to be a head injury either. Hopefully it's something that he's able to recover from pretty fast and he's back out on the field sometime soon. Does that mean he's going to be, available next week? I don't know. These guys want to talk about Brooks, Latsier Brooks. This guy is a star in the making. He is a star in the making. And I love the way that he plays the game. He just reminds me of one of those guys who we saw back in the Ruggs, Waddle, Judy, and Smitty days. Just the way that he moves, the way that he catches. Dude is really, really good. And he's only going to get better. It gives you, a lot of excitement about the future at Alabama. Now you sit back and you watch the rest of the games that'll take place in the SEC. I guess we're at that point now where, we'll turn the page on this game. Bama now 3-0 in the conference, 5-1 on the season. They got a 5-game winning streak. And honestly, I thought that this was going to be a really, really tough game. I figured Bama would probably pull away late. Didn't happen, but they win, and I'm fine with that. I'm really fine with that. Now, I will tell you, I watched Ole Miss. They won, and it was a hard game for them against Washington State. Something tells me that their coach may end up at Florida. So we'll see. Other games, Arkansas leads 6-0 at Tennessee in the first. Texas trailing Oklahoma 3-0 through one there after coming off that loss to Florida. And then later tonight, you got Florida at Texas A&M, 6 o'clock, 6:30. Georgia's at Auburn, South Carolina at LSU at 6:45. And that about does it for us. So look, first show in the books. And again, thank you guys for being here. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and please know that we'll be here just like always right after the game each week for the post-game show. It's called The Last Call on the Next Round. So thank you guys. And again, we're brought to you by the great people at Pearl River Resort. And from the bottom of my heart to you guys, roll Tide.